Monkey see, monkey do. I bet we have all heard of this, and if not, video games have a side effect on children. What they say is what they do, or what they see is what they repeat. I decided to give this persuasive speech on how video games affect our young generation and how they put effect on our gun control. I will be explaining video games and their side effects, dangers of guns and child's behavior, and stories and examples. I also will try to persuade my audience that gun control is let loose throughout the time spent playing violent video games. The Brady Act is an act that I never looked into, but as I read the description, I became more and more focused. This act states that there must be a background check on the people before the purchase of a gun, or a waiting period, such as 5 days. I think this was in effect because of children growing up in bad environments, such as playing violent video games all their lives, and making mistakes because they feel as if they do it in a game, it would be okay to do it in real life. These types of children were never taught right from wrong. This causes people to make mistakes. When looking back on their background, making sure it's okay to be able to own a gun, people keep in mind that if they have committed crime once, they may do it again. But with easier access because of gun ownership, I think this was bound to happen because of all the guns we sell to people that have committed crimes in the past. And then they use these guns to commit more crimes, or worse crimes than before. This puts a bad image on our country. In my belief, I feel as if all these violent video games that are coming out now, with the shooting and crime that goes on in them, leaves children scarred, and teach them the wrong things to do. Also, in real life, kids are disciplined when they do something wrong, but in violent games they are rewarded points for running someone over, such as in Grand Theft Auto. The gamer is rewarded bonus points for hitting a prostitute. I believe that this factor that creates a whole nother level of violence on children. I think if we eliminate these games, they would not corrupt our youth. Having our youth see all these violence makes them think that this is how the real world is. I think this is very wrong. 78% of all video or violent interactions in the first 10 minutes of gameplay featured lethal violence. This fact to me is enough to shut off the game for good. I cannot believe the creators would let children play such games. I would love to see America shutting down the violent games out there. I believe this would take a huge role on our crime rates in the U.S. Having children playing these games brings out their inner gamer or past that makes them think that it's okay to use guns to shoot down any problems that they may face. Recently, there have been many shootings in a row. These were in schools or places that have people that intimidate the shooter or just simply are in the way. I believe that this behavior is unacceptable. Having one person going into a school and shooting down innocent people just because of the way they were raised, and having them think shooting problems is okay, is completely insane to me, and outrageous. I feel as if America needs to grow a backbone and eliminate these games. Recently, violent video games tying into gun control have been major talk in the news world. I think that this law that I stated before, putting a kibosh towards the violent games and eliminating them for good. No child should have to learn about the killing and violent actions, and yet to be rewarded for it seems completely absurd. I think this is the reason we have the crazies out there. Theories out there suggest so many different options when it comes to these two together. I believe in the game theory, or GAM theory, or the GAM theory, whichever you want to choose to say it. This states that video games have an influence on people, proposing that our participants' thoughts, feelings, and physical arousal can be affected by simulated violence. There are more theories out there, but this one is one that I truly believe in. I believe that video games have a huge effect on the way our young generation acts. I also believe in the theories to an extent. There are so many different possibilities out there that can cause our generations to pull a gun, but I believe that video games are a huge problem in our generation.